Canto 1. Summary. It is dawn, Good Friday, 1300. A pilgrim awakes from a stupor to find himself in a dark, dangerous, and savage wood, on the edge of death itself. At the end of a dark valley he finds a steep mountain, robed in the light of the sun. He tries to climb it, somehow knowing that if he can make it to the top, he will be saved. But he is blocked, first by a leopard, then by a lion, and finally by a she-wolf, traditionally interpreted as lust, pride, and avarice, respectively. See Jeremiah 5:6. He is forced back into the darkness of the savage wood. At that moment a figure appears to him at a distance. Dante calls out to him and begs his assistance. It is the shade of Virgil, come for the purpose of helping Dante out of the wood and past the three beasts. To do this he must follow Virgil down through hell and up Mount Purgatory. After this, if he wishes to complete the journey to heaven, another must take over and guide the pilgrim through the sacred spheres to the presence of God. Dante is grateful and accepts the journey. Canto 1. The Dark Wood. In the middle of the course of our life, I came to myself in a darkened wood, because the right direction had been lost. Ah, how hard a thing to say what it was, this wood, overwhelming, savage, severe. Even the thought of it renews the fear. It was so bitter, death is hardly more. But to tell of the good that I found there, I will speak of the other things I saw. No words can tell how I entered that place. I was so full of sleep at the moment I abandoned the true way. But after, when I had come to the foot of a hill, the place where that valley came to an end, that dark veil that had gripped my heart in fear, I looked on the heights and saw its shoulders robed by then in the rays of the planet, which guides each aright along every path. Then was somewhat quieted the terror the lake of my heart had endured that night, which I had just passed so pitifully. And as the one who, with labored breathing, returns to the shore from out of the deep, turns around to see the dangerous sea, so did my soul, still fleeing, turn itself back, to marvel once again at the passage that never before left any alive. After I had rested my weary frame, I went back to that desolate hillside, and climbed, the firmer foot always behind. But behold, near the foot of the steep slope there was a leopard, light and very swift, covered all over in a dappled hide. It did not give way before me. Rather, it so impeded my course I was forced to return many times down the mountain. The time was the first hour of the morning. The sun above was mounting with those stars that together were there when love divine, for the first time, moved the beautiful things, such that there was reason to take good hope concerning the wild beast with the pied pelt, from the morning hour and that sweet season. Yet not so much the sight of a lion appearing before me gave me no fear. He appeared to be coming against me, head lifted high with furious hunger, so that the very air about him shook. But then a she-wolf, charged in her leanness from a continuous craving by which many have been made to live wretchedly, engendered in me such a heaviness with the fear that rose at the sight of her, I lost all hope of attaining the height. As is he who willingly buys something, and it then happens that he loses it, so that all his thoughts are sadness and tears. So did that beast, devoid of peace, make me, moving against me, little by little, driving me to where the sun is silent. While I was retreating to the valley, I saw one offering himself to me, who, because of the distance, still seemed faint. When I saw him across that great desert, I cried out to him, "Have mercy on me, whatever you are, real man or shade." He answered, "Not man, but man I once was. My parents were brought forth in Lombardy, in Mantua, which was their fatherland. Under Julius I was born, though late, and under good Augustus lived in Rome in the time of false and deceitful gods. Poet I was, and sang of the just son of Anchises, who came from Ilion after proud Troy was destroyed by the flames. But you, do you now return to this pain? Why do you not climb the pleasant mountain that is the reason and root of all joy? Are you then that Virgil, the fountainhead from which spreads forth such a wide stream of speech?" So I answered him with a bashful brow, O honor and light of every poet, the long study serves me, and the great love that led me to pore over your volume. You are my master, my authority. You alone are the one from whom I took the sweet style that has given me honor. See the beast for which I turn myself back. Deliver me from her, O famous sage, she that makes my veins and pulse to tremble. You will need to keep to another way, he answered, noticing I was weeping, if you wish to escape this savage place. For this beast, because of which you cry out, does not allow any to pass her way, but so encumbers one that she kills him. Her nature is so wicked and malign, her craving lusts are never satisfied. She eats, and she hungers more than before. She weds herself to many beasts, and still there will be more until the greyhound comes, and he will make her die with suffering. He will not gorge himself on land or wealth, but will feast on hope and love and virtue. His reign will spread from Feltro to Feltro. He will bring health to lowly Italy, for whom the virgin Camilla, Turnus, Euryalus, and Nissus all died of wounds. He will hunt her throughout every village until he brings her back down into hell, that place from which envy first set her loose. Therefore this I discern and think it best, that you follow me. I will be your guide, and lead you out through that eternal place, where you will hear the desperate shrieking, you will see the ancient aching spirits who wail on account of the second death. You will also see those who are content in the fire, because they hope to arrive, whenever is right, to the blessed people. If you should desire to ascend to these, there will be a soul more worthy than me. With her will I leave you when I depart. For the emperor, who reigns over all, because I was rebellious to his law, wills that none come to his city through me. In every part he reigns, and there he rules. There is his city, his throne raised on high. How blessed the one he chooses for that life. And I said, Poet, I ask you once more on account of the God you did not know, so that I might flee this evil and worse. Lead me to that place you were speaking of, that I might see the gate of St. Peter, and those whom you say are so sorrowful. Then he set out, and I followed behind.